Vayikra Shishi. In yesterday's Aliyah, the Torah introduced the carbon chatas, but then continued by telling us unique carbon chatas of unique individuals. Now the Torah tells us about the carbon chatas that was brought by any individual when they make a mistake, when they do an avera b'shogeg, when they sin by mistake. And that was brought from a female, it could be brought from a goat, and then from a sheep. And the Torah discusses the halachas of what would happen if it was brought from a goat and then from a sheep, and almost seemingly repetitive, but again, many halachas are learned back and forth from each other. Then the Torah discusses about a carbon ola v'yored, a very unique carbon chatas. It's interesting because the psukim here call it an asham. The Torah uses the word asham, but don't be fooled. This is not an asham. We'll talk about that in the next and the final aliyah of the week. An asham, which is a guilt offering, this is actually considered in the genre of a carbon chatas. But the Torah uses the word asham because it's telling us of a greater liability. Asham means guilt and desolation. So the Torah tells us that a carbon olav yored, up and down, olav yored, is based on a person's affordability, what they can afford. This is a very unique halacha. For 3 averos, a carbon olav yored was brought. Number 1, a person who denied testimony. They had testimony to say to help somebody else. When they denied it, they said, no, I don't have anything to say about the other person. Number 2, someone took something that was kadosh. It had a din hektish, it was holy, and he made it impure. And finally, for false or unkept oaths, a person did not keep their word. That would also, these are not, mostly a chatas is bought for a mistake. These are things that weren't mistakes that were done on purpose. So it's very unique that a person can bring a carbon. Usually when a person does something on purpose, they have to do tshuva in the steps of the Rambam and Hilchos tshuva, but not as for a carbon. Not by bringing a carbon, but the carbon olav yored is unique in that sense, that a person can bring. If a person has the money, can afford a sheep or a goat, it has to be a female. If a person can't afford it, then the Torah says they can also bring Torah b'nei Yonah, they can bring 2 birds as part of their carbon chatas.